Record. Take picture. Stop recording video. Button. Speech off.
Hey guys, this is Jordan Manny with The Blind World here again, and I'm doing another video in relation to the tag of hashtag what anime taught me about writing, and this time it's going to be about anime and basically fusion within the anime, and basically what makes the anime good. So when I say fusion, I mean where in the anime you have a main character, you have something where they get power from an object inside their being, individuals fighting, etc. And I want to go into this because this is also from a supernatural aspect. And I'm also going to be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball Z, an anime that I like because it's also a Italian anime and French anime, which is Winx. And I grew up with the kids. I actually grew up with the 4Kids dub of this show as a child. And I want to go into it further. And I want to go into Witch, Sonic Underground, and other shows if possible. So sit back, relax, and join me as I talk about this. So number one, I'm going to say about hashtag what anime taught me about writing fusion, great storyline, and an interesting character is number one, outline the reasoning how they got the fusion. So basically, in Dragon Ball Z, you're told that in the Majin Buu arc, he's too powerful, and even Goku says at the start when Vegeta kills himself fighting Buu, that if him and Vegeta fused, they could have taken on Majin Buu. And in other worlds, Goku learned a technique from the Metamorians called the fusion dance. Now, for the fusion dance to work, you and your partner, your spiritual energy has to be the same. Your physical energy has to be the same. Your ki has to be the same. Like, everything has to be equal. And basically, your body movement has to be on par. And if you're not on par, the fusion won't work properly. And especially when Kid Trunks and Kid Goten, when they were learning this, they became obese because the transformation wasn't done properly. And when your hands are pointing in the right direction, when your feet are pointing in the right direction, and the fusion is done correctly, what happens is you and that person, you become fused. You become one powerful warrior that has the characteristics and personalities of the two person that were used to fuse. So Goten and Trunks became Gotenks, and because they had a good teacher, Piccolo, who was hard on them and basically pushed them, they were able to go into the hyperbolic time chamber, train, and because of Goku, they unlocked Super Saiyan 3, and the fusion was strong enough to actually take on Majin Buu. Now, again with Dragon Ball Z, there's another way you can fuse, and it's through an object or an item called Potara. So basically, the way Potara works, if I fuse with, say, a friend of mine, and I'm wearing the Potara on my right ear, and he's wearing the Potara on his left ear, what will happen is I will basically join up with him, we will fuse, and we will become a warrior that is fused. Now, Goku, when he does this, he's told that the transformation is permanent, but it's only an hour, whereas the fusion dance is only 30 minutes. And when he and Vegeta fuse with Potara, they become Bojito, and they absolutely wipe the floor with Majin Buu. Number 2, make your character or protagonist have a backstory. And what I mean by this, in Winx, the character Bloom, she believes that her parents, even though they adopted her, that they're her actual parents, that she grew up with them, that are her family, and especially that when she discovers she's a fairy and she's trying to fit in Althea and Magix as a whole, and she's trying to learn how to control her abilities, and how with her destiny, how in the Italian anime she is the dragon heart, the dragon fire, the guardian, and that she is the princess of Domino and the princess of Sparks in the 4Kids dub. And basically, her emotions of dealing with having the dragon fire, having the flame, and just, trying to deal emotionally with having all that power. And even Yu-Gi-Oh! With Yugi Moto of the flashbacks, when you see that he was bullied by Tristan and Joey, how because of the puzzles he stopped them from being beaten up by the bully, and how they became friends. And his one wish with the puzzle, the Millennium Puzzle, was to become friends with people because he was shy and timid. And also in which the new girl Wilma, she ends up becoming friends with the likes of Cordelia, Irma, Haylin, and Karaya, and how they learn to control the 5 elements. Because as a guardian, it's a representation of an element. And also in Winx Club, Bloom is technically the central link because she's the founder of the Winx Club. She's the one that brought them all together, and basically why each of them have their individual powers work well together. And that goes into number 3. Have your protagonist have basically 2 sides of the same coin, an alter ego. So in Winx, Bloom is meant to be the light. She's meant to be pure. She's meant to be good. She's meant to not have any evil. And in the 2nd season, because she's training with Avalon, when she's training with the professor, who's not really the professor, he's a servant of Dark Phoenix, that he basically implants a seed of darkness into her heart. And both in the 4Kids dub and the Italian anime, she turns from someone that's meant to be perceived as the ultimate guardian of good, where she turns pure dark, because she is meant to be indestructible, powerful, the ultimate force, have no weakness. And even when her friends had to fight her off, and they saw how when she was turned dark, how she was mean, how her personality was cold, non-caring, and how basically if it wasn't for Sky at the end of season 2, and how love is the ultimate force and how it prevails, she could very well have been lost to the power and darkness. And even when because I can still physically remember this with Phoenix, where he had her trapped in his fortress, and how basically he had Bloom shackled, where like her arms and legs were shackled on the table, but rather being in human form, she was in like her fairy form with the white wings and the outfit. But then eventually he was able to put the seed of darkness into her, and she turned like evil. Like, she didn't look physically evil, but she was evil. And that's actually what tricks the doors into Relix to get the ultimate power, because, you know, it couldn't tell that Bloom had turned. Because it wasn't her heart that had turned evil, it was her personality that turned evil. Also, as well, in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the Pharaoh in Waking of the Dragons, it's revealed that he has an inner darkness, that he has anger. And especially in one of my favorite duels with Raphael, where it shows that the Pharaoh is not all powerful, and even Raphael says that he's going to turn evil when he's going to lose the duel. And when the Pharaoh was about to lose the duel, he ended up losing, like, he ended up using the seal of Orichalcos. He let his anger get in the way, and he was sacrificing his monsters and throwing away his ideology, and that's what lost him the duel. And it's because he gave into anger. And even in his duel with the Seal of Orichalcos on the train with Weevil Underwood, and where Weevil ripped up the card of Yugi, he goes berserk, and he only needed to attack him 2 times, but he attacked him 7 times. And if it wasn't for Taya, he would have obliterated Weevil. Like, that shows you how angry he was. Also in Dragon Ball Z, being good versus evil, Goku, like, he has anger in his heart, which is why he's able to go Super Saiyan against Frieza for the first time. It's why he transforms into Ozaru and killed his grandfather, unknowns to himself. And it's also in the Goku Black arc that, you know, Zamasu takes his body and becomes an alter ego of him. And basically, it's like Dark Goku, where he's just dark. And also in but just in general, you guys, in anime, it's like there's prime examples that your character has basically they can go good and evil. And actually, now that I think about it, another character I'm including is Jaden Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Because in his duel with Mad King Bon, when he loses Alexis, Atticus, Hasselberry, and Chaz, like, he even says it, I used to do it for fun, but now I'm doing it to avenge my friends. It's payback time. And he goes completely dark, and it's the whole reason that he becomes the Supreme King. Number 4, you need to create an event in the anime or story of why your character like has a good evil complex or psychotic complex, because if you don't like have an event where it all happens, then it's gonna make no sense. Like, it's literally gonna make no sense. And I say that, you guys, like, with Jaden Yugi, if he had not lost his friends, it would have made no sense. But I think he would have had to address the fact he was the reason why his friend Jesse got trapped in the other dimension with Yubel. And I think he would have had to come to grips with the fact you're trying to do it all on your own and not letting his friends help him. So that would have came to the surface. As well, in Winx with Bloom, if she wasn't affected by the darkness, you could argue that she would have been pure, but I reckon she would have gone dark anyway because she also has an anger deep inside, and just, you know, that's just the way it is. And even if Goku wasn't a Saiyan, I still think he would have had a darker, like, personality. One can argue that. And the Pharaoh, I still think the Pharaoh would have had a darker persona, but if he was able to, like, control the darkness, overcome it, because even in the end, he finds that out, like with the Orichalcos, that, you know, I'm not evil. I know I'm not evil, and just, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, really. Number 5. Give the protagonist friends, because with friends you gain strength. And a quote that I love from Legend of the Dragon, when Swan Chi, the Monkey Guardian, in episode 25, Monkey See, Monkey Do, it's his birthday and he thinks he's a failure, it's another day. But Aang, Bengal, and Master Chin, they celebrate his birthday, and Master Chin even finds his power band. And Master Chin says, one is not lost once they have friends. And I say the same thing in anime, that in a story, you need to emphasize how the characters have friendship, why they are friends, like Harry Potter, with Harry Potter and Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger, how they meet on the train, and how the incident with Fluffy and just the troll, and how they became friends after that. Especially in Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite books, where Frodo Baggins, Samwise Gamgee, Meriadoc Brandybuck, and Peregrine Took, how they are friends with Gandalf and Elrond and Galadriel, like how they are friends. And especially in Winx with Bloom, Stella, Flora, Musa, and Tecna, and Sky, Brandon, Riven, and Timmy, and even the main guys. Like, if you didn't have friendship in your stories, just, it wouldn't seem right, in my opinion, anyway. Anyway, guys, this is what hashtag anime taught me about. Anime, fusion, alter egos, and friendship, and supernatural. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Speech on. Stop recording video.